Hey Deckers, quite excited about this one. Finally, a new power bank that's capable of charging the Steam Deck, and this one has a trick up its sleeve as well. It has a hefty magnet on the back to be able to secure the power bank while you play. Now, I know that a few of you straight away are going to be going, uh-oh, magnets and the Steam Deck. It's not like a large corporation has ever had an issue with magnets with the Steam Deck before. But if you want to go and check if this could be a potential issue for you, then what you need to do is go into your settings on the Steam Deck, go into System, scroll all the way down until you see a button on the right that says Model / Serial Numbers. Click into that and then scroll down to the fan type. Now, Dbrand had an issue with the Delta fans. Both of my Steam Decks have the Hyung, so I don't know whether this would be an issue for you. However, in my tests, I have found that the magnet on the deck side is extremely weak in comparison to the one that actually holds the power bank. So hopefully this won't cause a slowdown on the Delta fan like the kill switch did with the magnetic kickstand, but I can't rule that out as I don't have one of those devices. So if you do end up getting one of these with the Delta fan, it may be that you can't use it with the plate, but because it's a power bank, you can obviously use it without the plate as well. Now they also sent me a Steam Deck dock, which I just want to give a quick cover. Unfortunately, it does have the standard issue that it does cover a bit of the vent on a naked Steam Deck. However, if you use the cover that comes with it for mounting the power bank or the new kickstand case from JSOX, for example, this does actually fit nicely, which I'll show in a second. But first, fitting the plate for the power bank mount is a little bit of hit and miss, as you need to make sure that it does not cover over that vent. So it might take you a couple of attempts, but it is an extremely snug fit. So bear that in mind. As you can see, it now leaves those vents completely uncovered. And now when we put it into their dock, you'll see that there is actually now an air gap at the back. It still sits perfectly fine, but those vents are now completely uncovered. So if you were using the kickstand case as well, then this would not be an issue. That's the new kickstand case, not the old one, for those asking. Okay, let's get into the power bank then. So it does come with a perfectly sized cable, so that once we actually mount this to the back, as long as you have it facing to the left, it does make a very satisfying click if you want to clunk it on. It does have the hefty magnet on both the power bank and the mount place here. And secure wise, it's extremely secure. It's not going anywhere. I gave this a really good shake and it's really not going to go anywhere. So it is great to be able to have this. Unfortunately, it doesn't prop the Steam Deck up if you were going to want to use it as a mount. It does perfectly sit on its end, but that's not very playable. And obviously fitting on the power bank itself. But cable wise, this does only protrude very slightly above the Steam Deck once it's fitted in this configuration. So it's great to hold on. Now, doing my fan tests, I found no slowdown in the fan at all with it fitted. So the figures on the right hand side here are the ones with the power bank mounted and not plugged in charging, but it was all fitted, and the one on the left was without the power bank fitted but the back plate mount fitted. So what you'll see here is that the fan speed had no problem ramping up with the power bank connected. However, you will notice that it does sit a few degrees hotter with the fan running a little bit faster. This is because although the magnet isn't having an issue with the fan speed, it is in what I call the deck hotspot. If you don't have the power bank mounted and you play your Steam Deck for a bit, you'll find that behind that fan mount does get quite warm. We've got 4 lights for the power stages here. However, I did not find them extremely reliable. As you'll see with my battery test here, from completely flat, and then when it did come on, it showed at 17% for some reason. Took around an hour and 20 minutes to charge to full, and it said that it used half the battery. Or so it seemed, but on the second charge, when it was completely flat, it only charged back up to 11%, but it did so in around 15 minutes. So not quite a couple of charges or even 1.5 charges. I'd probably go with the 1.1 charges, which is very similar to the Ampere power bank, except you can't buy those anymore, or can't seem to get hold of those ones, and the next version up is extremely expensive. So So I'm really good to see this. This is available in the UK and the US, and I'll put the links in the description below. By the way, thank you to ANTANK for sending these over to give them a test. It's great to finally have some alternatives in both the US and UK. Okay, let's have a look at some playing while charging then. So with the dock connected and using the power bank powering the dock and then the Steam Deck, this didn't quite manage to charge the deck fully. Now, it did slow down the discharge rate. However, obviously with the 16,000 milliamps and the 45 watt output, it's only just about enough to power the deck properly. So the loss that happens between the dock and the Steam Deck was just a little bit too much to stop it discharging, which is a little bit disappointing, but it was pushing the power bank to the limit. However, if I did disconnect the dock and just power the Steam Deck directly with the power bank again, then it was powerful enough to charge the deck whilst playing. Obviously, you don't have to have it mounted. You can have this to the side if you don't want the extra weight. Otherwise, it's a nice little bit of a workout while you're playing. And obviously, if you did have the Steam Deck off and you were charging this, then the fan wouldn't be an issue anyway. Overall though, it's a great little power bank that's not going to completely break the bank if you are looking to charge your deck on the go. The reason I use Phoenix Rising for this one, for those that are wondering, is because this makes the deck run quite hot and is a huge drain on the battery, as you saw in those power figures earlier on. Let us know in the comments below if this is something that you'd be using, and just out of interest if you are on the Delta or Hyang fan. We will have some videos for the upgraded JSOX tech coming soon, so do keep an eye out for that on the channel. And while you're waiting, you can always watch the most played games of 2022, or how to level up your Steam Deck with Decky Loader.